Hello, this is Tisha McDonald, Alternatives Beauty Studio.
I am Tanika Dillard. I am naturally yours.
And today we're doing a workshop called A Twist on Braids. So today we're going to show you four different braiding techniques: the basic box braid, the bob box braid, the bohemian goddess braid, and
The
did I say that
bohemian
wrong?
box braid and the goddess box
The
braid.
goddess box braid. Yes, thank you, Tanika. And so we're also going to be showing you today different parting techniques. We're going to show you the crescent or the half moon. We're going to show you the diamond parts, the basic bricklay parts, the vertical parts. Those are also considered diamond parts or pineapple cuts. Various different things we're going to be showing you today in this workshop. So get ready, have your mannequin ready, have your model ready, and let's get into it. Today, my model is named LeBron, and she's going to be my model today. And as you can see, Tanika is there with her model.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
doing goddess. Right now, I'm doing the bohemian braids, and then I'll show you how to do the goddess box braid as well.
Okay. So you can show us your techniques first, unless you would like me to do LeBron.
For what? What technique for what? Oh, you mean for
Uh,
the? Okay, so I'll show you how I do my bohemian box braid. And there's two ways that you can do this. I always feed in the curly hair, but other people like to crochet the hair in once they're done. So what I do, and I have some triangle parts going on here, and just trying to get done. And so I'm gonna attach or put my hair in first. Okay, so we're gonna start the braid. I like to make sure I have my curly hair ready and my straight hair ready to go. So I'm gonna split this piece of curly hair, and it doesn't matter what kind of curly texture you have. Just use a piece. I'm gonna lay it to the side. So when I'm ready to grab it, we're ready to go. So I start my lock. I'm gonna start my braid. You know, with my pieces, my 1, 2, and 3 pieces. I have a little bit of gel just for smoothness, and I'm just braiding in her hair. Some people like this particular look for the summer. It gives the little wispies. And I think I have a little bit too much here, so I'm gonna take that one out because that's too chunky for me compared to the other braids. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of the hair out. And you can do that. It's good to notice it in the beginning of the braid. Now I'm gonna go back in and redo this. I think that Lisa Bonet started this look with her locks, with the bohemian locks. But we've taken it to the next level as braiders and made it bohemian braids. So I have a little bit of gel that I'm going to smooth. I've been doing a tucking method on her hair because this is my model Jay. She has colored hair in some areas, as you can see. So I've been tucking her in so that you don't see her brown. That's
Thank you
another
for
technique.
explaining tucking.
Tucking is when you take her natural hair and go underneath. So, like, this is her natural hair. All of that is her natural hair. I'm going to put that up underneath the synthetic hair so that we don't see that. And that's where your gel comes in. Just a little bit of gel, get her hair, and just get it underneath the synthetic hair so that we don't
It,
see it.
it looks like you're using a green colored hair.
Yes, we're using that for video purposes, demonstration purposes. We are using
Okay.
green. It turns green towards the end. So the root is black and then it goes green. Oh, so let me show y'all how to add this piece of hair in. I would have kept talking. So I have my curly piece and I'm going to just slide it up under there and braid it in. I braid it in a couple of revolutions, maybe 1, 2, 3 to secure it. And then I'm going to take one strand and pull that out, pull that to the side, and I'm going to keep on braiding. As you see, I still have that second piece of curly right here, but I'm gonna braid down a little bit before I pull it out. So here's my second piece of curly hair. I'm going to pull that out, and that's my bohemian braid, my bohemian braid. So I'll braid this all the way down. I'm not going to do it here, but we're going to keep on braiding, and then you'll see that she has her little wispies.
Okay, and how long would this kind of style last?
I always say box braid 6 to 8 weeks with a maintenance around the perimeter. I will do one more. I'm just going to do a straight box braid, but I'm going to feed in with the crochet hook the curly hair.
Okay, that is a twist on braids.
Yes, it is. It is. So I have my hair again. I have a little bit of gel, and we're going to braid this in. Again, you want to make sure you have the right amount of hair. And I think that's something that we like to talk about is making sure you have the right amount of hair, making sure it's even with the other braids, the sides are the same or congruent throughout. So I'm braiding in her hair. And we're going to do the tucking method again.
Now I'm looking at your parting, and it's looking like you have triangular parts.
Yes, I was doing triangular parts. Yes.
So then there's a different parting method right there with the triangular parts.
Yes. I'm tucking her hair, and I'm not going to go all the way down. I could finish her braid later. I'm just going to braid to the end of her hair at least. And that way I could always pick it up. So once you guys learn how to braid, you could always drop your braids off and pick it up. That's why you have to make sure that each section stays separated. So when you pick it up to braid it all the way down, which is what I'm going to do later, you already have your 3 sections. So I'm going to stop right there, but I'm going to get me a crochet hook and crochet in a little piece of hair. I have a bag of hooks here, guys. I have me a small crochet hook here, and I'm just going to take this piece of hair and stick the crochet hook through the braid, grab that, bring it on down, and loop it in. I'm going to secure it this way.
Are you looping or are you knotting?
That was a loop with a knot.
Okay.
And if I wanted to, I can just feed this down a little further and bring it back through that way. So that's another option if you want to crochet it in.
What about braiding it in with the wavy hair and then pulling pieces out?
I did that. That was the first one I did.
No, that was you using the regular straight synthetic and then adding the hair at the end.
No. I braided this in.
Okay.
I braided that one in and I crocheted this one in.
Okay.
All of these are braided in.
Okay. So what's the next one that we're doing?
We're gonna let you do something. If you want to do the half moons and the bob or the basic braid. I think they needed the basic braid first.
You're right. You're right. I should have started with the basic braid. Let me bring LeBron over, and I am going to have my mask on, so you might not be able to hear me that well, but I'll try and speak clearer. So I'm going to put my mask on, and I'm going to bring LeBron over. All righty. So here's LeBron. I'm going to mock her up. And we're going to start with the basic braid. So not only are we going to start with the basic braid, we're going to start with the basic parting. So most people know box braids to be what it sounds like, box braids. So you're going to make a straight part. Make sure you separate and you have your clips ready and your comb ready. So that's a straight part, and then we're just going to make it a box. So you make another straight part going downward. So you have your horizontal part and then your vertical part, and it makes a box. And I'm going to use a silver clip to hold the hair off to the side. Now your basic braid is for visual purposes only as well. I am going to use a blonde type here. A blonde colored type here. So with the box braids, I do not knot the hair. I just put my finger right through the hair. So I will show that one more time. It's just a clean piece of hair, and just put your finger right through. That gives you your 3 sections, 1, 2, and then your long piece 3. So now I will make sure that I separate LeBron's hair into 3 sections, 1, 2, and 3, and then I will begin the braiding process. So this is your typical box braid. I'm going to pull this out and then do it again, but it's 1, 2, 3, and you lay it on top and make sure you have 3 sections, 1, 2, and 3, and now we're going to start the braiding. And again, you do want to tuck. And you see how neat that is? You have to hold the hair kind of taut so that it's not loose and flimsy. And you don't want the her hair just sticking out either. Now, when you get to the end and you need to add a piece, then you just cross over and you take a smidge from your longer side and you add it into the piece that you needed to go, the shorter piece. So there we go. I just added a piece here. I am going to braid this one all the way down, only because I will be showing later on how to burn the tips for like a bob style.
Okay.
So I will go
I was trying to explain it, but maybe you could explain better how you would gauge the amount of hair.
Okay, so how I gauge the amount of hair is the thickness of the client's hair, and that's the thickness you want the commercial hair to be. You don't want to have too much, and you don't want to have too little. Oh, I didn't show you guys. I knotted it off, but I didn't show you what I did. So what I did was take a little piece of hair, little piece, and I looped it around, and then I pulled it through. Then I took it the opposite side and pulled it around and looped it through. I pulled it through to make a little knot at the end. And again, this braid I'm going to use to burn the tip. So that is the box braid. I'm going to show that one more time. And so I have a pretty hefty piece of hair here. It's pretty thick. So I'm not going to use a little bit of hair because then it would be too small. I'm going to use a pretty thick piece of hair as well to put on top. So here we go. No knots. Just put your your finger through, your pincher and your thumb, So, and now I'm going to add on top of LeBron's hair, 3 sections, and then start braiding. And make sure that you hold the hair very taut and make it smooth. Don't want a lumpy braid.
Do you use any products when you braid? Do your box braids?
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Right now I haven't used any, but I do usually use a little gel. I'm not endorsing any one gel today. Everybody has their preference. And so that is your box braid. All right, so I was showing you the parting as well. So this is your basic box braid, hence the term box, because you are making it squares. Now, when people say brick lay, they do mean buck, but I'm just going to show you the parting, guys. I won't be braiding at this point. And so I'm going to clip her hair. Now, when you say brick lay, that means you go like to the center of the braid, make a square here, and the center of this braid, a square here. And so this middle braid will fall right in that line as if it were being brick laid. Does that make sense? Can you see that?
Yes, that makes sense. Yes.
All right, so we went to the middle of the one braid and the middle of the second braid, and now the second row, if you will, has 3 braids, and the middle braid falls right in between the 2 braids that's at the bottom. That gives you your brick lay. The next parting technique I would like to show you are half moons or crescents. That's what they're called, half moons or crescents. So let's say we'll leave these 2 box braids. Now we want to go in a U shape. Once you go into that U shape or crescent or half moon or upside down in, whatever you want to call it, that will fall into the boxes as well. And so you would do a half moon here, and then you would take the bottom of your comb and you would do another half moon on this side, and a half moon right in the front. Why would you use a half moon? It's similar to a brick lay, but it's fuller. The half moons are fuller than a flat linear box braid. Does that make sense? Okay, so the next style I'm going to do is the diamond cuts. So if this were the back of LeBron's hair, you would go this way horizontally, and then you would just take it on a diagonal. So that's how you would get your diamond cut. Because the further up you go, the more that it looks like a diamond. If you wanted to do what Tanika is doing right now, V-cuts, because it's like this on a vertical and then on a vertical, that's how you get your triangle, the triangle boxes. So you have going upward, and triangle. So let's say I wanted to do the next row, we would have to go opposite. You would go this way, downward, downward, and there is your triangle. Oh, downward, downward, and then there's your triangle. So that's how you get your triangle part. Is there a part that I'm missing that I said I would do today?
I think that was all of the parts that you wanted to discuss.
We did the triangle parts, the diamond cuts. That's the same. The triangle, the diamond cuts, the brick lay, the half moon or the crescents. And that's it. Yeah, those were the ones that we were discussing today.
Yes, that's a lot. That's a lot of options.
That is a lot of options. I really like the half moons.
Yes. I do a lot of bricklay.
Okay. So this is, I'm going to show you or demonstrate the bob because that style seems to be coming back in style. Now, this was something that was done back in the day in the 90s, maybe early 2000s, but we've gotten away from it, but now it's making a comeback. So, and it's making a comeback. It was banned because you have to light the hair on fire. So, State Board was like, no, you can't put fire near the hair. So it stopped, but now it's back. So you want to be very careful when you're doing this technique. So for me, for safety, well, you could use a regular lighter, but I use the lighter that you would use to start a barbecue, and I use a long candle as opposed to a short candle or putting it directly on the hair. So here I go. And with a long candle, your client can even hold it for you while you get the next braid together or what have you. But you want to make sure that your client's hair is not near the hair that you're going to burn, unless you're going to set the client's hair on fire. Thank you, LeBron, for being so brave. So here we go. So you want to make sure that you hold, well, what I do is hold the hair. Can you give me your head a little bit more? Yep. Yeah, there we go. So I make sure that I hold the hair that I want to burn in between my fingers, so that blocks any other hair from being in the way. Then I will slowly burn those ends, slowly. And as you're burning, you want to twist. As you're burning, you want to twist. And I'm going to show you a sample on my own head of the burning technique. Right? So there you go. And then it'll slowly separate and seal the end. This is not a good texture here, but it's all right. Just for demonstration purposes only. So now it's burnt, and we are significantly away or burning far from LeBron's natural hair. LeBron's natural hair is up here, and we're all the way down here. So now she has a burnt tip, and that is for your bob styles. I've always liked the bob styles, Tanika.
Me too. Me too.
And then it'll bend on its own. So it'll give that bend. But this is not really a good hair for this technique. But I'm going to show you on one of my locks. So that is the box braid, and then there's your bob. There's your box braid, and then there's your bob. Excuse me, LeBron. Can I have your seat real quick? For demonstration purposes only, I have 2 yarn braids. I'm going to come to the camera now. I have 2 yarn braids that I need to burn the tips. And so here it goes. But my hair is very low to it. So here's my candle, and here's the burn. And that's it. And then I just roll it in my finger. Now, the next one. This one I have further away from my natural hair because my locks are this long, guys. And so I'm going to take, I'm here. There we are. And I'm going to burn the end real quickly, if you could see that. And that's it. And then you want to roll it just to make sure that it's sealed. Okay? Is there anything else, Tanika? I have to blow this candle out, so excuse me.
No, nothing on that. How long does it take for a bob? How long would it take approximately to do a bob style?
The bob style depends on the client's length of hair, the size of the braid. But like the one that I just did on LeBron, that would probably take me about 3 hours to do a full head of box braids on her with the burning. But if they were smaller, of course, it would take me longer.
Approximately 5 hours, maybe 6 to do my bob style.
Okay.
So you guys, this is Tanika, and I'm going to show you how to do the goddess box braid. So goddess is really easy because as you see, we have these box braids already in. You see the bohemian braids, and those are very popular. But with the goddess, so I have this hair here, and remember, I told you have it separated so that you can pick it up easily. Your 3 sections. So I have my 3 sections, 1, 2, and 3. I'm picking it up, and I'm gonna braid on down. But I'm about to add some curly hair. So both of these techniques, the bohemian and the goddess, uses curly hair to give the accent look, I want to say. So now I'm braiding almost all the way down. I'm going to get my curly hair. That's tangling at the end just a little bit. Here's my curly hair, and I'm going to add that to the ends of the hair. So I guess that's why it's goddess. Bohemian is more whimsical. So I'm just going to braid that into the end. Now with my hair that I have going on here, this green and black, I can thin that out so that I can get rid of it quicker.
Are you using thinning shears?
I am using thinning shears, and I'm just going to braid the rest of this hair down. And let me get this one because that's a big chunk, and I don't want that big chunk. So I'm going to thin it out. And continue to braid. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to knot it off.
Again, you are watching a twist on braids.
I'm going to knot this off with my curling. And now it's just on the end. So she has a box braid with a curly end. And that is going to be your goddess braid. So I could pick up one more. I have one that's braided pretty much to the end. I'm going to braid it all the way down. I'm going to get ready to add that piece of curly hair again. I'm going to braid this just a little further down. Now I'm going to get my piece of curly. Add that in. We blend that in and keep on braiding all the way down. And because my little straight hair is whimsical, I'm just going to knot it off with the little piece of straight hair, this little piece of green I have. Knot it off. I double knot it. And again, so now she has her goddess braids. Okay.
Very nice.
So you see the difference between the bohemian braid, where you have the wispies coming out from the braid, the wispies coming out from the braid, and then you have your bohemian, your goddess, along with your straight. So those
you can actually mix the two styles.
Box braids that we did today. We did goddess braids, we did basic box braids, we did bohemian box braids, and goddess box braids. You learned how to make that tight stitch to bend the end and how to singe. If I was going to dip her ends in hot water, you want to be very careful with that as well. Making sure that the client's hair is far away from the hot water. You want to have it pulled back, dip it, and take it out. But you got to be very careful with that. It's best to use something with a handle to dip the hair in. Make sure you have your towels and everything ready. Make sure the client is protected with their towels. Make sure that you're protected as well. And the water don't have to be scalding, boiling hot for it to seal the ends. Okay, don't do that because I've seen too many accidents happen by having it boiling hot. And that's not necessary because it'll burn the skin as well. Any tips on that, T?
Nope, you said it.
So with the care for this, she could loose it and tie it down if she needs to as they get older. She would come back and get a refresher around the perimeter as they got older. And she could go for 6 to 8 weeks. I don't suggest anything past the 8-week mark.
I agree. So we want to say thank you for purchasing a twist on braids today. We hope that you learned a lot. We went over the parting. We went over the four different box braids. And I want to say thank you, and we will see you again soon. This is Tisha Alternative Salon, and that is Tanika of Naturally Yours.